Here's the 2020-21 school year. So excited to have you here. I'm ready to get this year started. I know it's going to be a great Wildcat year. So, as you know, I keep track of the various curriculum programs. I will watch Burlington High School graduation for you, Kansas Scholars Curriculum, NCAA Division I and Division II, and NAIA eligibility for you. Qualified admissions. In the past, you had to have certain English, math, science, social studies, electives, etc., to get into one of the state universities. That has now changed, beginning with your class. To get into one of these state universities, Emporia, Fort Hays, K-State, Pitt, KU, or Wichita, you now have to either meet a GPA and or ACT score to qualify for admissions. So it's much easier. To get into Emporia State, Fort Hays, Pitt State, or Wichita State, you have to meet one of these two things. Your ACT has to be at least a 21, the composite score, or you have to have a cumulative GPA of 2.25. To get into K-State, you have to meet one of these two things. You have to have an ACT of 21 or have a composite GPA of 3.25. To get into K-State, you have to meet one of these. You have to have an ACT of 21 and a GPA of 3.25, or an ACT of 24 and at least a GPA of 3.0. If you meet that ACT and or GPA combination, you will be admitted to a state university. NCAA Division I and II. This is for my athletes. If you're thinking you might participate in Division I or Division II sports, you do have to register at this eligibilitycenter.org. Some of you might have done that last year toward the end of that junior year. It will cost you $90 to do so. Once you register, you'll get an email back with more directions on what to do to finish your registration. Please let me know that you have done so. That way I can upload your transcript. NCAA will not accept the ACT scores from us. You have to send it directly to them from ACT. So you either have to contact them and have it sent, or anytime you take the ACT, use that code 9999 and they will send it to them. In April of your senior year, an amateurism form will be available that you will need to fill out. Participate in NAIA schools. To participate in sports, you have to register at playnaia.org. It does cost $90 to register with them. To be eligible for that, you do have to graduate from high school and you have to meet two of the following. You have to have an ACT of 18 or an 860 on the SAT math and reading, or you have to have at least a 2.0 GPA or be ranking in the top 50% of your class. So of those three things, you have to meet at least two. There is no curriculum with NAIA, but there is a curriculum with NCAA. Again, just like NCAA, the NAIA will not accept your ACT scores from us. You have to have them sent directly from ACT. So when you register, you're going to use 9876 to have those scores sent to the NAIA. Honors graduation. You can graduate with honors if after first semester of your senior year, so you have completed 7 semesters, if you have at least a 3.2 GPA. If your GPA is a 3.2 to a 3.49, you will graduate cum laude. If it is a 3.5 to a 3.79, you will graduate magna cum laude. And if it's a 3.8 to 4.0, you will graduate summa cum laude. I'm going to give you a paper here in a little bit that tells you what your GPA is now if you meet one of these honors graduation categories. The final decisions will be made after first semester grades are posted. So if I'm at a 3.206 right now and I fall below, then I will not graduate with honors. If I'm a 3.19 and at the end of the first semester I go to a 3.201 or something, then you will graduate with honors. So all decisions about honors graduation are made after the end of the first semester senior year. Your transcript. As you know, your transcript is what houses all of your grades and classes, 9 through 12. It's updated each semester. When you're filling out scholarship and college applications, they might ask you if your GPA is weighted or unweighted. Ours is an unweighted GPA on a 4.0 scale. Class rank, as of today, there are 65 in your class. The top third would be the top 22 students, but that person has a GPA of 3.776. A 6th semester transcript is what you have now. A 7th semester transcript will be available in January, and an 8th semester transcript will be your final one, which will be available the week after graduation. Transcript requests. Anytime you need a transcript, please let me or Mrs. Parks know. We will get those sent out for you. As you're applying to colleges, a lot of them now are going to self-reporting, where you can just report your own grades and then send in just the final transcript in May. However, some colleges will want you to send one now, and if that is the case, they will want it directly from us. So just come in and ask us to send your transcript. No big deal. We're happy to do that for you. If you want us to also send your Allen County transcript, if you will go into your Allen County account, go to the Academics tab, scroll down to the bottom, it will say View Unofficial Transcript. Go ahead and print that, bring that into Mrs. Parks, ask her to mail it with the Burlington High School one to whatever college you are wanting us to send it to, and we are very happy to do that for you.
Mrs. Ecton, and I am your new college and career advocate, so I'll be meeting with you several times this year about different things. And so we're going to look at your future and see what you want to do next year. High school's the time you've been exploring with different classes, the things that you want to do. We will maybe do a little career cruising with the seniors this year, especially because the career cruising is a tool where you can see what colleges have, the majors that you want to go into, and all of that information. So it's a good tool to use in that way. So your goal, we'll look at what your goal might be. It might be military. You might want to enter the workforce, go to vocational technical trade school, or college or university, and there are a lot of options out there for those different things. Something else you might want to look at, the United States has 5 service academies. We have one, the Army has the U.S. Military Academy. We have the Naval Academy, Air Force, Merchant Marine, and the Coast Guard Academy. If you're interested in one of those academies, you have to be nominated by your congressman, or also the vice president, or the president can nominate you. But if you're interested in that, we can contact the offices of our senators or our representative, Steve Watkins, to get that information to you and get a nomination completed. Selective service, boys, when you turn 18, it's a requirement of the law that you just register for the selective service. Nothing happens, it's just they want your name, they want the information, and you can go to that website or pick up paper at the post office to get that, but otherwise you won't be eligible for federal financial aid, and it's the law, so it's just something that you have to take care of when you're 18. So if you do decide to go to college, some things to consider would be, where you feel comfortable, what the student population is, the size, diversity, where it's located. There's a lot of difference in-state versus out-of-state when it comes to costs and different things. Your comfort level, personality, of course your major, you want to go somewhere that has your major, and then what types of financial aid that you can get. And you want to visit the campus. And you probably are familiar with this possibly from last year, maybe you made some campus visits, but remember, you need to complete the campus visit form before you go, you and your parents both, and then you also, when you come back within 2 days, you need to give us some documentation that you went, and that won't count against you for attendance. So hopefully we will still be able to do that this year, and you'll be able to take some campus visits. Type of post-secondary schools, some other types here. We have career and technical colleges. We have a lot in the local area. Community colleges, which you've probably taken or are going to take some of those classes, maybe through high school, public colleges and universities, and also private. So if you are interested in one of these things, then you can just go to the internet and search and kind of learn a little bit more from their website. They have a lot of information out there that you can look at. You can even set up college visits over the internet a lot of times. So this is kind of what you need to do if you kind of have an idea of where you want to go and compare those. So we'll also have college reps. This year it'll probably be a little different. Some colleges have been sending out to Mrs. Bolen some video that you can watch, and it gives you all that information that the college rep would have given you, and that will probably come through your email, but we will make announcements if people are going to be allowed to come into our school and talk a little bit about their school. Make sure you are reading your senior scoop, and this will come out every Friday, and it will be emailed to the class of 2021. And also, if parents want to get on that list, they can contact Ms. Bolen and get signed up for that and receive those emails as well. And, you know, talk to people who are going to school there or have gone to school there, and maybe you might even be able to go visit them. That's a great way to be able to learn a little bit more about that school from someone who's there. And then make sure we will try to attend the College and Career Planning Conference at EHS if they have it, or we'll do the Wrangler Rally. We can also do that. It might be virtual this year. We're just going to have to check. So we're just going to play it by ear and take advantage of the things that we can this year. And the National Virtual College Fairs, we will pre-register, and you have to create an account, but this is something that's virtual every year, I guess. So it's not something new this year like we would think, but and you can learn about all types of colleges around the country at that fair. So for admissions, you have to make sure, and we can work together. I will meet with you regularly, and we will make sure that we get these things done, but you'll apply for admissions. There's usually a fee. Your high school's transcript, a lot of times you'll have to make sure that that gets sent in, as well as your ACT or SAT scores. The Common App, this is somewhere where you can apply, and kind of the big three in Kansas, KU, K-State, and Wichita State. You can do one application and apply to all three different schools with just that one application. But it is important to apply early. You get the best chance at scholarships, financial aid, as well as getting the residence hall that you want. And there are a lot of other kind of perks to applying early. The Kansas Public Higher Education and Training Program Search. If you look at the link down here at the bottom of the page, and it cuts off, but it's search down there is the last little part. But if you go there, I just went in and it says type your major, and so I put like teaching, and then it came up with all the schools that had that major. And so you can click on it and type in like things that you're interested in, whether it's biology or teaching, and it'll come up with the schools that have your degree program.
Testing, as you know, standardized testing, primarily the ACT. They use those scores for college admission, course placement, and scholarships. So the ACT, it is the test of choice for colleges here in the Midwest. However, it is accepted at every college and university in the nation. When you take the ACT, it's the English, Math, Science, and Reading test. The writing test is optional. If you're planning to go to college in Kansas, you do not need the writing test. The ACT is often 7 times a year. This year, that has grown to about 10 times a year. In September, they're going to offer it twice. In October, they will offer it 3 times, and then once in December, February, April, June, and July. You register online at www.actstudent.org. If you're planning to take the September ACT, the deadline to register for that, either one of those 2 dates, September 12th or September 19th, that deadline is August 28th. It does cost $55 for the ACT, $70 for the ACT with writing. If you miss the deadline and have to pay by the late deadline, then it's an additional $35. If you miss the late deadline and you still want to test, if you meet the standby deadline, then it's an additional $56. So hit that original deadline and save yourself a little money. If you change your test date or have a test center change, they do charge you $35 to do so. Just some registration tidbits. Make sure you always upload a head and shoulders photo. Always use your legal name. The name on your ID and your admission ticket must match. On test day, you have to have a photo ID. You can't test without it. Then make sure you also bring your registration ticket, your number 2 non-mechanical pencils, and a calculator. You might have heard of section retesting. Section retesting, they plan to have it open this fall, but with the coronavirus, that's another thing that it messed with. They're now pushing that back to spring of 2021. So I really don't know that it's going to affect your class very much, but section retesting, once you take the ACT the 4 parts of the ACT, and you're like, oh man, I didn't do so well in the science, you can come back and just retest in the science area. All section retesting is done online. You would come in on a Saturday. It's the same Saturdays as the national test dates, but you would just come in, retake that part of the test that you want to take. If you have taken the ACT and then you find out later, hey, my college does require the writing test, you can come in and do just the writing test. In the past, they did not allow that, and they made you come back and take the whole thing plus the writing test, and now they'll let you do that. You can test up to 3 areas on one test date. As I get more details, I will share those with you, but at this point, I do know they moved all of that to spring of 2021. ACT is also offering super scoring. And super scoring is when you have more than one ACT score, they take the highest of your English, your math, your science, your reading, add those together, average those together to give you a super score. And they will start reporting that to you now, and they will go back 5 years. So if you've taken the ACT in the past, all of that will be part of it. And the next time you take the ACT, I believe that it will show an ACT super score as well. The SAT is the test of choice for schools, mainly on the East and West Coast, more for schools with those highly selective admissions policies, your Ivy League schools, etc. It will cover reading, math, and writing language. The SAT is more of a reasoning type test. The ACT is more of a content test. The SAT is offered several times throughout the year, September, November, December, January, March, May, and June. It does cost $52 to take the SAT, $68 to take it with the essay. And you register at sat.collegeboard.com. Some colleges might require SAT subject test, where you come in and take either a test they tell you that you have to take, or you take a test of your choosing, and they will let you know. But these are the various subject areas that you might have to take a test in if you go to a more selective admissions college. Fee waivers. If you qualify for the free or reduced lunch program, ACT has changed it. They said in the past it was always 2 times that you could take the ACT for free, and now you can take it 4 times for free. So that's way cool. You can also use these fee waivers for any national test state with section retesting. So they have changed it from 2 to 4. On the SAT, you can take the SAT free twice and any 2 subject tests free while you are an upperclassman in high school. Also, there is a form that if you are a free reduced lunch student, please come see me or Mrs. Ecton. And there's a form that we can fill out saying that, yes, you do qualify for free reduced lunch. You could take the ACT for free. And then we send it to the college and asking them to waive the application fee for you. Most colleges will acknowledge that. Here are a bunch of test prep resources if you are going to take testing yet this fall and spring. These are all great sites. Test booklet comes with our registration packet. Mrs. Parker, Mrs. Hess usually offer those nighttime evening sessions, so check those out. So the college money maze. We've looked at our colleges, we've got our test score, we're good to go, we're ready to get into college, and now we have to pay for college. How are we going to do that? Well, different forms of financial assistance. One are grants, which is free money. It's money given to you, usually based on financial need. Money you don't have to pay back, so we want as many grants as we can get. Scholarships is earned free money. It's money that's given to you because of your academic achievement, your outstanding talent or skill, or financial need. Again, money you don't pay back. Work study is self-help money. It is money you earn by working on campus. You qualify through the FAFSA. The government pays the college for you to work there, and then you do still have to apply for jobs. They'll have a website or whatever that lists all their various work study jobs. You'll know how much money you are eligible to earn over the course of a year. Great way to work on campus around your schedule. Maybe you have class for a couple hours and you got a couple hour block where you don't have a class. Maybe you could go work and then go back to your next class. So it's a great way to work on campus. Loans, it's borrowed money that the student and the parent has to repay. Student and or parent has to repay. Grants, loans, and work study, they're all awarded per the results of the FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid. You do have to submit it each year that you want to apply for aid. If you are taking out a loan, it is best to do it through the FAFSA because the interest rate would be so much lower than if you went to a bank or something. Scholarships, big year for scholarships, guys. Uh, You are encouraged to apply for any and all scholarships that you meet the criteria for. As they come into the guidance office, they'll be relayed to you primarily through the senior scoop. Please read that senior scoop. Everything you need to know will be relayed to you through the senior scoop. Something comes in this week, it'll be in this week's scoop, and then I don't repeat information, so make sure you check out that senior scoop. A tip I do have for you, and it was a student tip from several years ago. She said, tell the students to create a separate email account just for scholarship stuff and college stuff. It will help you to more easily find those messages and they don't get mixed in with all your other personal email. So great tip to do and encourage you to do so. Hopefully I encouraged you last year to do that and hopefully you did. So let's talk about this FAFSA. The FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. If you're on a site that wants to charge you for filing the FAFSA, then you are on a scam website. It is the free application. You can start submitting your FAFSA beginning October 1st of your senior year. You guys will be going to college in the fall of 21. So you use prior year's taxes to do the FAFSA. So if you're going in 21, you'll use 2019 taxes. There is a paper application. It's kind of bulky and cumbersome, and you got to mail it in, and it takes longer to get your results. They highly encourage you to file it online at the fafsa.ed.gov website. Make sure you are on the ed.gov website. It's a secure site. If you go to fafsa.com, you'll find one there, but it is not, that's a scam website. Don't do it. If you are applying online, you have to get a FSA ID, a Federal Student Aid ID. You use it for your electronic signature. The student needs one, and at least one parent needs one. I'm going to use Mrs. Parker just for an example. She had 3 children, so each of her 3 children need their own FSA ID. She only needs one, and she could use it for all 3. So please be aware of that. There is a link right here. You can go into this PowerPoint and click this link. And I'll put the PowerPoint in the class of 21 folder on the student common. But you can go into this link right here, walks you through how to get your FAFSA ID. Guys, this is something you can do now. I encourage you, get that, write down your questions and answers that you put in there so that you remember what they are. Remember what your federal student ID is, what you used as your login and all of that, because you're the only one that can get to that. There is a video at the bottom link that you might want to check out. It tells you how to get a FAFSA ID. We will have we will host, Emporia State, hosting this FAFSA Financial Aid webinar. It'll be Wednesday evening, September the 23rd from 6:30 to 7:30. I will get back to you as soon as I have more details from them. Then they usually come out and we have a financial aid work night where they have several financial aid officers here. They sit down with families and they get this FAFSA filed. But because we can't do that this year, they are going to do it virtually. It will be Monday night, October 5th from 6 p.m. to 7:30. And when I get more details from them, I will let you know. Just wanted you to get that date on your calendar. So Emporia State University, you do have to complete an application for admission and for scholarships. Their priority deadline is February 1st. Fort Hays, their scholarship deadline, their priority deadline is November 15th. Their final scholarship deadline is February 15th. K-State, they have moved theirs back a little bit. Their priority deadline is December 1st. You do one application. It's for scholarships and admission. They will accept the December test date for you to retake that ACT if you choose to try to get a better score, to get a better scholarship. And then there's a way that you can upload those scores to them. So uh, be aware of that. Pitt State, their scholarship deadline is February 1st. KU, their scholarship deadline is February 1st. And with your class, the last ACT they will accept now is February. So you can take the test in February as well. Wichita State, they start awarding scholarship money as their freshman scholarship, or excuse me, as their freshman applications start to come in. November 1st is their deadline for their freshman merit scholarships. Move myself down a little bit. Wichita State does host the Distinguished Scholarship Invitational. To participate in this scholarship event, you have to have a 3.5 GPA or a 27 on the ACT, or be in the top 10% of your class, and have applied for admission, been admitted to WSU by October 15th of this year. They need then all of your scholarship materials returned back to them by November the 1st. In this one, it has a lot of different scholarships ranging from a few $1,000s up to $50,000. This is this is the biggest scholarship competition in the state of Kansas. All of them are good at Wichita State. You can check out those scholarships at this link. The competition will be held on November 20th. Right now, they are just kind of waiting to see what happens in our world to decide if they can host it on campus or if they need to do it virtually. And as soon as I know, you will know. Washburn, their scholarship deadline is December the 1st, but they do start awarding their money on a first come, first served basis. There's an application for admission and then one for the scholarships after you've been admitted. So what's our game plan this year? We are going to create I would encourage you to create a master calendar of deadlines, check it often, write down the dates for your college applications, when are they due, what are the deadlines to register for the ACT if you plan to take it again, when is it actually going to be, what are some of those dates for scholarships, housing, financial aid, all of those things, get those on your calendar. Don't let this be you. Don't do your work in a deadline-induced panic, so don't be a procrastinator. Our game plan, continuing, is to narrow down your college selection and request college applications, financial aid, scholarship, and housing applications. Once you have applied for admission, then you can move forward in the process. You might apply for admission to 3 colleges. You might apply for housing to all 3. And then once you've made your decision about which college you're going to go to, you can request your money back from the other 2, from the housing deposit. Once you applied for admission, you won't get that money back. But you can't apply for housing until you have been admitted. Do visit the college before making your final decision, if possible. I don't know how much they will allow students on campus this year. Do prepare your resume. You'll be doing that in your senior English class. Take the ACT, September, October, December. Now with KU, you could do February. Take the SAT. Ask for letters of recommendation. Try to gather around 3 to 5 different letters from teachers, coaches, counselor, administrators, community contacts. If you work, your boss, something like that. Finalize your college essay and personal statement. And then please, please, please read that senior scoop. Kids come in and they're like, well, I didn't know about this. I'm like, it was in the senior scoop. Did you read the senior scoop? Everything that comes into my office, guys, will be given to you in the senior scoop. You will get one every single week of the school year, almost every single week. Please read it. That's how we keep up with everything. Keeping track. A good idea is to get a wide 3-ring notebook, get some page protectors to put in there, maybe label your sections, senior scoop, scholarship apps, letters of recommendation, college apps, resume, etc. Keep participating in community service activities because sometimes that's the make or break between you getting a scholarship or somebody else. So keep track of everything in this notebook. Again, you have access to the college visit form, the weekly senior scoops, this PowerPoint, and other pertinent information in the high school student common folder. You have 24/7 access to it. It is labeled Class of 2021. I will email the senior scoop out as well. If you don't want it, let me know and I'll take you off my distribution list. If you want the senior scoop emailed to you via your personal email, please let me know so I can add you to the distribution list. I will also email it to your school email address. Please don't hesitate to contact us if you need anything. There's my email address and phone number, and Mrs. Ecton's email address and phone number. So we are looking forward to having a really great year with you guys, and welcome back. Let's have a great Wildcat year, and just have a, you're going to have hills and valleys, guys, and that's okay. You know, you're going to be excited to be back, and it's my senior year, and then it's like, I don't know what I'm going to do after this. You might hit a little valley, and that's very normal. And please keep in mind your parents will probably be going through the same thing, hills and valleys with you. You know, they're excited for you that it's your senior year, and then they hit the valley because it's like, oh, it's my child's senior year, and then what are they going to do, and where are they going to go, and all of that. So all of that kind of mixed emotions, variety of emotions that you're going to feel this year is very, very normal. So just be good to yourself, be gentle, be good. Please let us know if you need anything, and we're really glad to have you back. And let's get this year started.